Sukuigar Mandos, and welcome back to the channel. It's Gunko Guns here, Mandalorian, competitive hot dog eater, and part-time Cathar exterminator. Yes, I'm still taking contracts, and no, I do not offer refunds. Today in SWTOR, we're lock and loading with my Gunslinger Saboteur build for PvE. And in my humble, mustache-backed opinion, this is the easiest class and build to pick up in this entire game. If you've been thinking about diving into endgame raids or ops, and maybe your current class feels like you're dragging a speeder with no engine, give this build a shot. I promise you, you'll hit 30k plus DPS, you'll laugh while doing it, and yes, you can probably run this with one hand while the other one's holding a churro. Anyway, let's ride. Looking for like-minded lunatics to play SWTOR with? Then why not join the Mando community? We're on the Starforge server, and we've been around since the Star Wars Galaxy days. Back when blasters overheated and the cantina was the real endgame. We run everything: PvE, operation, dungeons, weekly world bosses, PvP, duels, bounties, you name it. If it explodes, we're probably already there. So if you want a crew that actually plays and isn't just standing around on fleet quoting Revan, then join Mando. Discord is in the bio. Strapping is going to get loud. All right, thank you folks for being here, and remember, join Mando and join now, or I'll send a Mandalorian to steal your boots. I'm just kidding. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, a quick announcement, okay? This build and rotation I'm about to show you, this is not, and I repeat, not the optimal way to play this class. There is somewhere out there in the dark corners of SWTOR forums, I'm sure you can find the 24 bound rotation you can learn, you can master it, and if you want to break your fingers, cry in the middle, hate your life, you can squeeze an extra 1 to 2,000 DPS over me. Or you can do it my way, the lazy way. Your build that you can actually run with one hand. I really call it, and again, I'm not joking here, Netflix and chill. You can do this and be the top DPS in mostly every raid, hit 30 plus K, and with one hand while you're watching Netflix. The choice is yours, my friends. Broken hand or one hand DPS glory. Let's kick things off with the best implants for you. We are going with the energy regulators and the locked and loaded package. In my opinion, these are the best options. They give you the alacrity that you need. On top of that, you get 5% more damage, and while you are in cover, you recover 1 energy per second, meaning you don't have to ever worry about energy or your resources ever again. For the tactical, this is the best one in my opinion. This is the Ruthless Interrogation. Your speed shot refreshes your shock charge. Again, your shock charge is pretty much how you begin everything in this class. It is the one dot that you put on there, and with your speed shot, you can refresh it every time. On top of that, your blazing speed, which is your passive, will do 75% more damage, and I'll touch on that here in a second. These are the optimal stats that you want to run for your PvE build. Again, I build for Master Mode or NIM rating, just a quick FYI. For your accuracy, I run 2700, and as you see, that is that 10% that you want to run, or if you scroll down just a little bit more to your tech, it is that 110%. What this means is that you will never miss on any PvE bosses that you will fight. For your alacrity, and again, I am also building, just keep this in mind, for the Master Mode raids, so I have 2128, which is that just that over 7.37%. Now, if you don't plan on running any Master Mode operations, you definitely don't need the 7.15%. With these two implants that you have, you will get the necessary, I believe it's 1150 plus or something. You'll have all the alacrity in the world. You can take all the alacrity from your gear and put it into crit, and you can run it that way. However, if you do plan to run Master Modes or NIM, you definitely need at least 7.15%, which is 2054 alacrity. And then everything else into critical. That is how the stats work. All right, and then going over to the combat style, this is the ability tree, and really quick, I want to bring your attention to Blazing Speed passive, the one that I mentioned earlier. As you see here, when you do your speed shot, it burns the target and it deals some elemental damage over 6 seconds. It can stack to 3 times, and then your charge burst, quick shot, and thermal grenade apply 1 stack of it, and as it refreshes. Keep this in mind because of that tactical. This does 75% more damage. It's actually pretty nutty. So, this is why I wanted to actually bring it up right here for you. let's go over the build. And again, this is the best ones to choose, in my opinion, for PvE rating. Going on the bottom for 23, sequential targeting is the best in slot. The critical damage from explosive charges by 20% is massive because your explosive charges, it's actually a few of them that go on there and then you blow them up with your speed shots, is going to do quite a lot of damage. This is amazing. Going over to 27, quick draw is an amazing ability. When they're below 30%, it kind of becomes like an execute. We're going to use it and it's going to do a lot of damage, and I'm going to show you how to use it perfectly. This, in my opinion, is the best in slot for PvE as well. Going to 39, the aim assist, best in slot. 43 is where you can actually choose here. Now, I've done illegal mods and I've also done kill streak. In my opinion, kill streak is better, but if you want to push damage and really get in there, kill mods will actually be more beneficial for you. But again, for me personally, I just enjoy kill streak. Everything after that, this is more for group play, and it's actually pretty awesome. Ballistic dampers is amazing. And 64 over here, you're cool under pressure. You can actually heal while in cover, which is pretty awesome. However, if your boss that you're fighting has a lot of ads, you can switch to efficient ammo and help your group. But honestly, cool under pressure is really where you want to be. 64, scrambling field, again, really cool for all your teammates. You can pop this, they can go under it, they'll get some defense. It's quite amazing. And 73, I take heads up. Again, just a defensive if you need it. It's there for you. All right, let's actually talk about how to play this in the rotation and all that good stuff. I'm going to give you 2 rules that you have to follow when you're playing this class, and I promise you're going to be okay. Rule number 1, always be in cover. And again, you can find crouch and whatever that is for the sniper is the same thing. You just want to be in cover every time. While you are in cover, remember, because of the implant that we choose, you're going to recover your resources. Top of that, your defense and all that good stuff just by being in cover. As you see right here, absorbs damage, blah. There's just a lot of stuff that you get from being on cover. So you always want to be here. And again, if for some reason the boss moves and you have to hightail it, you can do this because this puts you also in cover right away. So just keep that in mind. Rule number 1, get into cover ASAP. Okay? Rule number 2. When you are fighting multiple bosses, or if you're fighting your number 1 boss, your shock charge has to always be on the new target. If, for example, you're fighting a boss and he has a sequence where he disappears for a little bit and then he comes back, you have to reapply shock charge right away because this unlocks everything else in your build. So keep this in mind. Shock charge, if for some reason there's multiple bosses, you're fighting one and then you have to fight the other one for a certain amount of time, make sure to reapply shock charge. Again, rule number 2, shock charge must always be on your target. All right, now onto the rotation, your bread and butter, and I promise you guys this is going to be the funniest and easiest thing that you can do in this game. Let's talk about it. The way that I like to play the Gunslinger and the Sniper classes is in blocks. Now, when I say block, it pretty much means a certain amount of moves in order, and then, 5, for example, in this one, and then you move again to the second block. I want you to get used to that because if you want to learn the other builds, I'm going to be saying blocks a lot. And again, all that means is that like block 1 just means a certain amount of moves, and then when you finish him, you just go to block 2, etc. I hope that's easy to understand. Anyway, let's talk about it. So first thing that we do when we start, as always, is you do your shock charge first. Okay, you always want to make sure the shock charge is active. So again, like I said, rule number 1, always follow it, or rule number 2, whichever it was. Anyway, your first block is very simple. We're gonna go with speed shot, incendiary grenade. Then we're going to do sabotage, which is our number 1 hitter. And what this means that if you have your shock charge active and it is on the boss, this is going to light up and is going to do a lot of damage. Followed by thermal grenade and vital shot. It looks something like this. And again, we jump into cover. So again, we always want to make sure that we have this thing on them. As you see, it is on there. And remember, speed shot's going to refresh it. We're going to let it finish all the way. Incendiary, sabotage, thermal grenade, vital shot, just like that. That is our first block. Okay, we're gonna make sure that we have, as you see right here, we have that shock charge. If we do, then we stop with speed shot one more time. We go to incendiary grenade, sabotage, thermal grenade, vital shot. That is block number 1. Block number 2, again, we come back to the one right below it. I put it like this in order just so you guys can see how easy it is to play. Block number 2, right after you do the vital shot, you go back into speed shot. And you're going to let speed shot finish the entirety, okay? It is a channel of about 3 seconds, 2.63 seconds. You have to let it finish fully, okay? After that, you're going to hit it one more time with an incendiary grenade. Then you're going to do charge burst into thermal grenade into explosive charge, okay? That is the second block. And there's a reason why I'm saying this, because I just wanted you guys to kind of see what I'm doing here. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to do first block and second blocks in order so you guys can see how that looks. So again, let's go back and cover. We don't have the shock charge on them, so I'm just going to put it on there really quick. And then let's click. So speed shots, let it finish entirety. We're going to go into incendiary, sabotage, thermal grenade, vital shot. Second block, speed shots. We're going to let it finish entirety. Incendiary missile, charge burst, let it finish. Into a thermal grenade, explosive charge. After that, what you would do after that is you would just go back into, again, the first block. That's how easy it is. This is literally all you have to do. Okay, there's 2 examples or 3 examples that we're going to do after this, but I just kind of wanted you to learn the rotation, how this actually works. So let's do that one time, and this time I'm not going to stop. I'm going to do 4 of them so you guys can see how it looks, and I'm going to go really, really fast, and I'm going to click, and so you guys can actually see it. So again, we're going to go shock charge, make sure it's on there. Speed shots, let it go fully. Incendiary missile, sabotage, big hit into your thermal, vital shot, back to speed shots. Incendiary, shock charge, thermal, explosive charge, blow them up with speed shots. And this is all perfectly timed, by the way. And you're just going to keep doing this until you get used to it. I'm clicking just to kind of show you guys that it's easy to follow, okay? Here's a second block. All right, third block or second block still, and then finish, and we're just going to blow them. All right, enough of that. So that is the actual rotation and how this actually works and how this actually plays. Now, there are 3 other moves that we're going to use with this to do even more damage and all that good stuff, and then I'll show you the rotation. All right, now we're going to add 3 moves, and that is bombing run, quick draw, and target hack. We're going to add a 2-hour rotation to do even more damage, and I'm going to show you how actually this works in real time so you see it. So let's talk about the first one, which is the bombing run. As you see here, bombing run, it also is an activation of just under a second. It takes for you to activate it, and it has a 26, almost 20-second cooldown for this move. Now, there's a reason why I have it under number 6, because these work together. Charge burst, as you see here, your charge burst does not have a cooldown. So the way that this works is, once you get to the second block of your rotation, right at charge burst, if your bombing run is available, you use your bombing run instead of your charge burst. When bombing run is on cooldown, you're going to use charge burst, okay? So the way that it actually would work is you would use bombing run, then you would use charge burst, bombing run, charge burst, and so forth and so forth. You pretty much are going to use bombing run every other time. That's how that works, and I'll show you exactly how that does. The next move is, again, your quick draw. Your quick draw will only activate once the target is below 30%. When they're below 30% on the second bar, again, under the second block, if you will, you're going to replace your thermals, your second thermal grenade, you're going to replace it with quick draw. So when you, for example, when you're doing charge burst and or bombing run, you're going to go into quick draw once they're below 30% health instead of thermal grenade. All right. And the very last move is target hack. Target hack has a 1-minute cooldown, so that's why I didn't actually put it in here. And by the way, this is the perfect example to also use if you're going to use illegal mods, because you're going to get 2 of these. You want to actually use this right before char or explosive charge. So if your target hack is available, you want to use it right before you use your number 8, which is again your explosive charge. This is going to make this do a lot more damage. So again, one more time, you're going to use bombing run When it's on cooldown, you're going to use charge burst, okay? And then when they're below 30%, you're going to use quick draw instead of thermal grenade. And then if your target hack is available, you're going to use explosive charge or your target hack right before explosive charge, and then you just do your rotation. For your tactical, or I'm sorry, for your adrenal, this is where I actually use my adrenal as well, right along with target hack right before explosive charges. That's where I'll pretty much use it. Now let me show you a full rotation and how this actually looks, and we'll go from there. Oh, I actually forgot, I also have the opener for you. Here's a really funny thing: you actually don't ever have to use the opener. You'll still end up with about the same amount of damage, but you can get, you know, a little bit more if you use the opener. You can get that really big spike right at the start. The opener is, especially if you're in a raid, like I said, you have to coordinate with your tank. They have to give you a few seconds, because remember, bombing around, there's a little delay before it hits, so you want to make sure that you coordinate with the tank when you're going to use this. But the opener pretty much is, you want to use a bombing run and then a charge burst right after to kind of get that double hit on the target as the tank jumps in. Then you're going to want to use your shock charge. You're going to use your 2 buffs, which is again your adrenal and your target hack, into your explosive charge and speed shots. After your speed shots are done for your opener, you're just going to move into your first block with a incendiary missile and then continue like we talked about. Again, I am going to do that, and I'm going to show you actually how that works. But first, let me open up orbs so we can actually see the full rotation and see how well I do. All right, so we've gone ahead and put the 2 million HP in the dummy, as well as the operational debuff. And we're going to kick things off with the top part. I apologize, my orb seems to be a little busted. I don't know what it's doing, but hopefully it works now. I reset everything, so hopefully it's all good now. Anyway, let's kick things off so you can actually see the full build and rotation. I'll do the opener into the full build, and we'll go from there. Here we go. I think it's working correctly now, so let's see what happens. All right, so that was the opener. Here's the first block. As you see, we're going to come on the second block right now, and we're doing almost 40k damage, which is pretty awesome. As you see right here, we're doing charge burst because this one is on cooldown. And then we're going to go ahead and pop our explosive charge and then blow them up. And then, again, we're going to finish off the first block. As you see, bombing run is available. So we'll go ahead into the bombing run this time around. Let it finish all the way. Bombing run. Boom, just like that. And then you just continue. Super easy. As you see, we're getting to that almost 30%. So now we're going to incorporate the quick draw in there as well. And it's going to be pretty easy, pretty awesome to use as well. So here we go. Second block. As you see here, bombing run is on cooldown. So we're going to use charge burst into quick draw, into explosive charge, and then we're going to blow it up. Just like so. As you see, pretty... Oh, I totally that. That was that. About 34k damage on that one. Pretty easy, guys. Let me see if I can pull up orb just so we can kind of see it really quick where we were at before. I definitely recommend orbs, guys. If you are going to do orbs, I definitely recommend it. Which one was? I think it was this one. There it is. Is this one? Yeah, I think this was the one. So as you see right here, burst damage 36, about 33k DPS. You could probably push it 34k. Super easy to do, and as you see, all you really got to do is just watch out for these two, and especially target hack as well, and just gonna keep with the two things. Super easy, in my opinion, the easiest class, and honestly, it's super fun because it incorporates single target and AoE damage as well. You can do this together and still be the top of the leaderboards, mostly in fights like the shoot, by the way, where there are some, you know, ads that come in up top DPS at like 40k damage, sometimes 45. Again, super easy. Try it out. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, friends.